All right. I know I'm super far behind doing Doctor Who. It's almost the end of January and it aired New Year's Day. But bear with me. We should do this because we've done all of Doctor Who. One of the things that Chris Chibnall said before this season started was that we wouldn't see any of the Doctor's um, normal enemies. So as you see this season, there were no Cybermen, there were no Daleks, there were no Weeping Angels, there was no Sinatrans. The reason he gave for doing this is because he felt that there was a barrier to entry with Star Trek. Uh, did I say Star Trek? Doctor Who. Please excuse me. The reason he said this is because there's a barrier to entry to Doctor Who. Now, when a show has been on for a very, very long time, it develops a sort of shorthand, a coded language. You know, when you hear exterminate, you know that this is a Dalek if you have been following Doctor Who for the very first time. Now, imagine yourself as a newbie to Doctor Who with this large universe. Could you jump in very easily? I don't know about that. And how many people want to go all the way back to the Ninth Doctor and watch New Who from the beginning to understand what the Doctor is and what the universe is like? So, because we had a new companion, we had a new showrunner, and we had a new Doctor, he felt that it would be a good time for people to start watching Doctor Who, and he wanted to make it easy for them. Well, the New Year's Day episode, he finally introduced Daleks again. They tried to be coy about it in the advertising for this episode, but for anyone who's familiar with Who, it was really clear that this is what we were finally going to get. We were going to get our first Dalek. We were going to watch Jodie do battle with the Doctor's arch nemesis. Uh, Now, watching Doctor Who, you really have to suspend belief a lot. But I really feel that they took it too far in this episode, and let me tell you why. The Dalek is the scariest alien in the Doctor's world. You know, Daleks are, despite the fact that they have plungers, Daleks are very smart and they're deadly. And all they want to do is exterminate and to conquer. So the story begins, in what appears to be, I'm going to say the Iron Age, maybe? And the Dalek is making war on Earth. He's going to conquer Earth. But somehow, these humans with bows and arrows and spears manage to capture a Dalek, uh, separate it from its iron frame, and they bury the Dalek in a few different areas on Earth and set up their descendants to watch over the Daleks. This is this big secret so that it can never come back and attack Earth again. Here's the issue. In modern times, we see these heavily armed soldiers shoot everything they have at the Dalek, and the Dalek just blows these soldiers away. This is what we expect to happen. It is, after all, a Dalek, right? So please explain to me how these ancient humans with arrows and, like, how exactly did these ancient humans defeat a Dalek? It makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. And right there, it broke me. Right there, I can't get into this. You know, if you're going to make the Daleks super powerful, then they have to be super powerful all the time, right? The Doctor is the only one who can actually defeat a Dalek. Not these ancient humans. What do? Throw a rock and the Dalek tripped? Um, and I really, really did not like that uh, at all. It threw me off. So, going forward, of course, the Doctor does indeed defeat the Dalek, which is what the Doctor does. I thought Jodie's interaction with it was pretty cool. There was a line in there about every time I think, we've seen the last of them, they come back, which is, of course, what always does happen. What was interesting is that the doctor this time wasn't nearly as angsty about the Daleks. And I think that's because they're done grieving the Time War at this point, the doctors made her peace with it, particularly because she was able to save in as as Smith was able to save Gallifrey, and we're ready is at a healing spot in her life. So while she wasn't happy to have to deal with the Dalek, she did, but she wasn't nearly as emotionally triggered or scarred by it. Which really does go in line with who the Doctor is now, as we see the Doctor, right? Um, we had Ryan dealing with his daddy issues because his father showed up and wanted to be involved in his life, and of course pulled into all the Dalek drama that came along. There wasn't, I mean, he was in like awe when he walked into the TARDIS, and they were just kind of like, yeah, get over it, let's go, we have things to do. I'm wondering if he's going to be a reoccurring character. It'd be interesting to see. Yaz again felt like this unnecessary part of the show, not really brought in, not really working um, with the other cast members. So it's clear they still don't know what to do with Yaz. And yes, I know I have been complaining about this for the entire season, but tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm wrong. They just don't know what to do with her character. And on this big day, you know, there was nothing about her that made her unique. She was just an extra. For all intents and purposes, she was no different than Ryan's father. Just an extra. She's just been around longer because they refused to invest in her character. Well, the other thing we did see is that the companions are well seasoned at this point. They follow the Doctor's lead. They are confident in who they are. They're confident that no matter what challenge comes up, they will be able to handle it as a team. The Doctor, recognizing the danger, gave them all the option to stay behind this time, but they had the Doctor's back. So that says something as to how they have gelled, how they've sort of become their own little family inside the TARDIS. They're no longer strangers to each other. So we will see what the new season of Who has to offer us. It's going to be off for a little while. I'm a little bummed about that. Um, yeah, I'm a little bummed about that. But I'm really hoping, now that, Chris Chibnall has got his feet wet, that he will begin to grow the Doctor, um, and grow all of the companions, now that they're all this cohesive, functioning group. Um, I want to see them stretch. I want to see them try new things. Most importantly, I want them to do something with Yaz. It's long overdue. And please don't throw the partition episode at me. And that just, in context of the entire season, it's really, really tokenizing. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. But for now, this is all Chris Chibnall and the other writers have to offer us. As first seasons go, it was good. Could it have been better? Absolutely. But at least I can say I'm really happy with Jodie as the Doctor. I enjoy her so very much. Her smile, her energy, so very much. Um, so thanks for that. We'll see you next year with Doctor Who.